the indecisive leadership of President Cyril Ramaphosa and his cabinet regarding the energy security situation continues to paralyze the country and its economy. Strong words from the Black Business Council in a statement regarding the electricity crisis. The BBC says government should be focused on stabilizing and improving Eskom's existing fleet. The council is calling for the immediate removal of the Eskom board, as well as its CEO and COO. For more now, I'm joined by Kganki Matabane, who is the CEO of the Black Business Council. Kganki, good evening. I've got to thank you for your time this evening. So, I saw your statement. You don't go to town making long, elaborate points. Your points are very direct. You believe that cabinet, despite President Cyril Ramaphosa having flown back from London instead of going to New York, he flew back, but you are not happy with what has come out. Let's start with that aspect. You are not happy with what has come out thus far from the deliberations in cabinet.
Good evening, Thulasizwe and the viewers. We are definitely not happy, mainly because what is happening is actually destroying the little that we have of the economy. The economy is still reeling from the effect of COVID, but the government doesn't seem to be realizing that because what they are doing, it looks like they are just managing public perception, and I think we have long passed the times of managing public perception. Now it's time for action, and action is there. We need to go for the action that is proven, that is scientifically proven. We've seen Europe and other places, Germany, for example, after Russia closed the gas, they basically went back to coal. And here we're trying to move away from coal, and then we're going somewhere else. So the reason why why Germany moved back to coal is that gas, from a technical point of view, gas, coal, and nuclear, they've got what is called base load from a technical characteristics, and the wind and solar don't have. So you cannot solve a what is called a base load problem with a non-base load solution. So solar is basically called a cherry on top. So when you've got a cake, you put the cherry on top. The cherry on top cannot replace the cake.
Yeah.
But what the South Africans are trying to do, or what the government is trying to do, is trying to focus on the cherry on top instead of focusing on the base load. And that has been proven all over the world that it cannot solve load shedding.
Sure. So
it's important that we must identify the problem properly. The problem is load shedding. The solution must be to end load shedding, and we can only do that by resolving the current system that we have. We've got more than 20,000 megawatts that is supposed to be available, but the poor leadership and incompetent leadership at Eskom is unable to make that available.
Yeah, so it's interesting what you are saying. It sounds to me like you are calling for a complete rethink of our energy mix and the direction in particular of where we want to go. Are you saying, Kganki Matabane, that there is no path towards ending load shedding and the gap on the supply side of things that doesn't involve coal, gas, and nuclear?
And hydrogen, which we don't have. So South Africa, we don't have gas, we don't have nuclear, we don't have hydrogen. Those are the three technically sound solutions to load shedding. So in the absence of those, we only have the one which is coal. So if you are serious, we want to deal with load shedding, there's no any other solution in South Africa outside coal-powered stations. So the focus, because now we're in a crisis, the focus of government and everyone else, Eskom included, should be to resolve the challenges of Eskom, not to be going all over the place trying to get solar as the CEO and the CEO of Eskom are trying to do. let's focus on the 20,000 megawatts that is available, that is supposed to be available, but it's not available to incompetent and then poor maintenance. If we can resolve that, we'll have dealt with load shedding. Then we can go and go and deal with the solar and wind. Because if I can tell you, Eskom now, as we're sitting, it's got additional 6,000 megawatts from solar. But that 6,000 megawatts is useless because it does not have base load, so it cannot solve the load shedding. So that 6,000 megawatts does not even contribute towards us not having load shedding. So whether it's there or not, load shedding happens. So let's deal with the problem that we're supposed to deal with and stop wishy-washing and try to run the country through public relations.
So in this conversation, then you then go on to make a very strong statement about the current executive management as well as the board at Eskom. What in particular leads you to the conclusion that they are not performing and have failed? And I'll tell you the context, part of the context of me asking this question is that you will hear it from Andre de Ruyter, but also recently from board member Thulasizwe Simelane, who says actually solving this problem is within government's wherewithal. Government has the wherewithal, but nothing is moving in as far as getting those, in fact, had things moved back then, if we had taken the bold steps around IPPs earlier, by now much of that, electricity capacity would now be on stream and we wouldn't be sitting with this particular situation. So what has the board and the management at Eskom failed in particular to do that has led you to the conclusion that they must go?
Yeah, you see they're focusing on the cherry on top, and which is not going to solve load shedding. What they've been appointed to do as the CEO of Eskom and the COO is to fix the current Eskom, and they failed. They've got more than around 3 years, and any CEO who's worth their salt, they should have at least stabilized the organization. If you are not able to improve it, at least stabilize it. But this ones, instead of stabilizing it, things are getting worse. This year alone, we've had the highest load shedding ever in the history of Eskom. So it shows you the current people who have been paid so much money, they are going to work every day. They don't know what they are doing, because if they knew what they were doing, they will have at least stabilized Eskom, where maybe we only end at load shedding stage number 2, not going beyond stage number 2. But now we're stage 6, stage 5, and all those type of things during the weekend where factories are closed. So it also shows that the CEO and the CEO of Eskom, they've got no professional shame. Because if they had professional shame, they would have realized themselves that they are underperforming, and they'll have resigned without being told. But you can see they've got no professional pride. Maybe they are just incompetent in nature. Hence, where the CEO of Eskom come from, Nanpek, probably they were going to fire him before he left. So you are dealing with people who are...
You're not suggesting that his perceived incompetence has anything to do with his race, are you? I mean, incompetence, we've always known, exists across all races.
Yeah, but you remember when he came, they almost projected him as a white messiah to come and rescue black people. And then he has failed dismally.
Who presented him in that way?
The media and all other people who are protecting white privilege.
Okay, Kganki Matabane, I've got to thank you for your time and weighing in on this situation at Eskom. Strong words coming through from the Black Business Council there, calling for the board and the executive management at Eskom to resign or be fired, saying that they've failed to deliver in as far as the situation is concerned.